Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more. Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Future Tech Podcast. My guest today is James Albis. He's the CEO of a company called SnoHub. The website is SNOHUB.com. So, James, how are you today?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what is SnoHub? What's the premise of the company?
SnoHub is a mobile consumer tech company that connects customers with gig economy workers who are in the business of clearing snow. So they don't necessarily actually have to be in the business of clearing snow. So effectively, it could be, a traditional landscaper who plows snows or someone who has a shovel that wants to jump into the game and make some extra dollars during the winter. So basically, we threaded, an inefficient problem through mobile technology. So we have two mobile apps available, one in the Google Play Store as well as one in the Apple Store. So basically what it does, as I said, it connects the two sides of the market, making it a very frictionless and convenient way to order snow clearing, in the middle of winter.
Huh. So right now it seems to be on an ad hoc basis. I know businesses have contracts, with people to clear snow. They'll have plows come in and all that. And then I've heard there's snow removal versus snow plowing. So do you deal in both?
We cover all the bases when it comes to clearing snow. So our mobile app really encompasses everything from snow plowing to snow shoveling to de-icing as well as snow blowing. So our app is a turnkey, holistic approach towards clearing snow because different markets, different homes, different customers have different requirements. There is no one-trick pony when it comes to dealing with Mother Nature. So, whether it's someone that lives up in Westchester County, New York, or in the outskirts of, some of the bigger suburbs in Chicago or in Boston, they'll traditionally have a longer driveway. So those types of customers will lend themselves more to a plowing event. But if you go into some of the more urban areas, such as Queens, such as, the outskirts of Boston or Long Island, smaller driveways, you need to have more flexible equipment. And so that's one thing that clearly differentiates our app is that no matter what the circumstances throw at a customer, we can handle it all. And we also, as I said, have a variety of types of gig economy workers, not just a guy with a pickup and a plow. And because you need to have multiple solutions because, as I said, every property, every customer is different as well as every weather event.
Yeah, that makes sense. So is it your accounts are going to be residential or commercial or both?
Predominantly residential. So we're disrupting an $8 billion residential market. So a market that traditionally is grossly inefficient. And SnoHub really was born out of my personal frustration as a homeowner for 10 years. Even though I had at the time a selected contractor that was assigned to my home and my property, there was no rhyme or reason when they would show up, if they would show up, or secondly, when it comes to the payment methodology, was always either through cash or through some type of invoice 3 months after the fact. I had no record of actual, work other than an invoice that I was there on such and such date on February 12th, and I get an invoice in May. So what SnoHub does is we bring transparency and clarity to a very challenging situation. So what the app does, and to take you through that process. So let's say, for example, you as a customer will order the snow clearing for your property. And so you will request it. You will enter the parameters of what you want and need done. So on your, it puts you in control. So you will select your driveway. It's 100 feet. You want to have your walkway cleared. You want to have salt applied after that. So there's all drop-down menus. There's all tick boxes, and a a la carte menu is a price point is associated with each of those particular services. And then the contractor the contractor will see those and then proceed exactly to your property. So you'll know exactly a specified time from which they'll show up. They will take photos before and after, and then once the job is done, they'll hit job done, and at that juncture, your credit card is charged.
Yeah. I lived on Long Island for a whole bunch of years, so I mean, it used to be, when you're little, you go and knock on people's doors and shovel their snow.
I did it.
Yeah. When you get older, I mean, I think this would be very time sensitive because you never know when it's going to snow. So I'd wake up and there'd be snow all over the place, and my car would be all snowed in. The plow would have, like buried it. I need to dig out the car, dig out everything. So how fast, if I go online and order, will a crew come?
2 hours. I mean, we pretty much put a 2-hour guarantee for customers. So that again is the challenge. So again, even if you are a customer of a specific contractor, you're still dealing with one contractor and maybe 2 trucks. There's no way that each contractor, the put-through rate in a storm, whether it's 6 to 12 inches, could only be four properties at once. So always someone is going to be at the bottom end of the barrel. So the only way to slice and address a very problematic environment was by adding more types of workers into the mix. Guys with pickups that may want to pick up a plow. Let's say you have a shovel, okay? A college student. I was just on campus in 2 area campuses outside of New York City today, talking with college kids, talking with military vets who are in college part-time that can go out and shovel. And so again, it's about efficiency, and it's not so much as like, okay, well, I'm tied to a particular customer. It's a compulsory type of service. When you want snow cleared, you want it done because you've got to get out and you need to live your life. And so no one is sitting around waiting for that. And the only way we're doing that is by adding thousands of new types of workers into the workforce. And this is the only way to do that.
Do you plow, or do you do actually, are there some people that say, I literally want you to take the snow with you? Can you do that? Where you literally remove the snow and go melt it somewhere else to dump it?
No, I mean, typically in a residential environment, we'll push the snow to the left or the right of someone's property in a specified area, typically at the end of the driveway, not in front of the garages. So homeowners are good with that. They understand that. It's very rare that a homeowner would request the actual remove, because then you're talking about loading and and then transporting it and melting it. That you'll see a lot in a commercial type of environment.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that on some roads. Like they literally took the snow away, and I was like, wow. But in other circumstances, in parking lots, there'll be gigantic piles of snow until March or April sometimes. Yeah,
they have to in those commercial situations because the snow is so much. But in residential, we've never really seen that.
Okay, makes sense. So what about, so it'll include, let's say, I want you to do the driveway, the walkways, put down salt, and unbury my car. Is that like a typical service I could order?
Exactly. That's it. Or clear the sidewalk. So we'll also offer pre-storm treatment, so we can apply salt ahead of a storm. So again, that's very sensitive for, like, say, customers, the Albis, where again we try to mitigate risk for people falling down. So folks can order pre-treatment of putting salt down on steps at least 12 hours in advance of a storm. They can also order service in advance of it. As much as we are on demand, we do accept orders in advance of a storm. So this way we can allocate efficiency, and so you can get into the queue. We can also we'll send out alerts to contractors. We'll send out alerts to customers. We're also building a weather API into the app where we'll look at predictability on snow levels. We built Waze technology into the app so contractors know exactly where to go in terms of the specified address. You also, as a customer, can order service for another property, an elderly parent, or as a gift. So you can order service for another property that's not necessarily your property. So, it makes it more flexible. We also have another feature in the app that uses Twilio. So it's very Uber-like in the context of you as a customer can, once the contractor accepts the job, it pairs the two together. It's anonymous calling, so no one sees anyone's personal cell phone. And so they can text and also call each other, for 24 hours. Once the job is even completed, let's say, for example, if there's a particular area that a contractor missed, rather than for us as the customer service center to get in the mix of that whole thing, where we effectively allow, the customer to call the contractor and say, hey, listen, John, you forgot to do this part of the driveway, you missed it, or something like that, so.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any peculiarities with the industry? I mean, it's obviously seasonal, at least in New York.
Yeah.
Any peculiarities that make it either really interesting to you or things that you didn't anticipate once you got into it?
In terms of like, the unknown, I mean, I will say this is that, coming from the outside in terms of disruption was very eye-opening for me. And again, so I really took a product and a customer as well as a technology perspective from this. I guess like when you're so entrenched in it, even though I do plow a little bit, I don't come from a traditional plowing background. I'm not, a landscaper by trade for 20 years and that. So again, like every type of request that a customer may have had, a suggestion, or a contractor, we built directly into the tech. So it was very organic in the sense of the last 24 months. We've been constantly building and updating. And that's something that you can only get through time and experience and say, oh, well, we heard contractors complain, oh, I'm not going out for just one job. So we built a platform in there where contractors can effectively onboard or reserve 5 jobs at one time. So they know going out of their driveway, they're going to earn $250 in one, within a 2 hours timeline to get to those driveways. So that's just one example. And that we, again, we build as we see things. And so we're very adaptive and reactive to market needs and wants and concerns.
Yeah, I remember, one of my neighbors had a snowblower and I was sitting there shoveling and dying, and he just goes and blows it quick. So do you guys have specialized equipment that makes the job a lot easier?
Well, we actually do offer. Well, snowblowing is actually one. So let's say, for example, you had a snowblower and you wanted to walk down your block and hit 10 drive. You can do that with our app. So the types of services that contractors can provide, they can provide shoveling, snowblowing, as well as plowing, as well as de-icing. So whatever equipment you have, our whole mantra is like, use the equipment that you have to earn extra income. You work when you want, you work as much as you want, you can earn as much as you need. So people can make from a couple $100 in a storm to a couple $1,000 in a storm. So again, the flexibility of the equipment is all there. We're the only mobile tech company that provides that complete holistic approach when it comes to the types of equipment that people can use. And again, every piece of equipment can be utilized to clear snow. So whether you want to do it by hand, you want to do it with a snowblower, or if you got to pick up in a plow, you can do it that way as well.
Well, is there any latest and greatest snow removal equipment that you know of that a normal person wouldn't know about? Any new gadgets?
Well, again, one of our tie-ups with we just did a great tie-up with a company called Douglas Dynamics. They're a Midwestern manufacturer based out of Milwaukee, and you might see them on our website under the brand SnoX, which is a great piece of snow plowing equipment designed specifically for the residential market. And so we just did a tie-up with those guys to offer the opportunity for people that onboard the opportunity for them to win a free snowplow. And we're actually going to be giving away 3 free snowplows in the market over the next 3 weeks. So we highly recommend, obviously, because they're a partner of ours, but that piece of snow plowing equipment, the SnoX brand is a piece of equipment that we we feel is the perfect piece of equipment for residential snow plowing, because it's designed specifically for those smaller driveways, they're 10-foot wide, 100-foot. That piece of technology and plowing equipment is the best in the industry. And we're also tying up with another Midwestern company that manufactures snow shovels that are manufactured in the U.S. So again, we're very cognizant of partnering with companies with products that are made in the U.S. that help create jobs in the country, as well as churn cash faster back into the economy.
Well, the good thing is it's not something that you can outsource to overseas, obviously, and
that's true.
It's
right.
like hyper local.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
like it's literally hyper local. Like you have to be right in the area to fix stuff,
Yeah, it's spot on, right?
What do you do if the municipality in which you guys are working screws up? Like I remember in New York, I think it was around Hurricane Sandy. They had a scandal with the snow plows. They didn't plow and they lifted their plows and they didn't plow well, and there were accidents and deaths and all kinds of problems. Like do you know when the city or the county or whatever is going to go out to plow so you could follow in their wake and not get caught up yourself?
True. Well, again, that contractors are pretty good in terms of trying to look at the road conditions. Obviously, we don't advocate going out in a snow emergency, situation where, until at least if it's a hyperstorm, that we don't recommend our contractors are out in those. So we'll keep on top of the weather. Obviously, if it's coming down at the rate of 2 inches, we don't advocate people to be out in those types of conditions for their safety as well as others on the road. So again, we try to adhere to the local warnings of the municipalities in terms of that being at least to have a clearable road for trucks to move safely through the towns.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So are you deployed now? Like how many seasons have you had contractors out there, or is this your first one?
No. This is we started off 2 years ago, and so this will be our third season, and we tested the market with 2 counties just outside of Manhattan, in Westchester County and Fairfield County. Last season we were in 10 markets, and then this year we're expanding to 43 markets, including Calgary, Canada.
Oh wow! Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So what else is on the roadmap? Yeah, what else is on the roadmap for the next year or so?
Well, again, for us, is to really solidify our position, as the leading consumer tech company when it comes to snow clearing. There's other things that potentially that we're exploring right now that we can leverage key data from people's driveways and homes to augment cash flow during non-snowing season, i.e. the summer and the spring and the fall, such as driveway sealing, asphalt resurfacing, because we'll have all the data around that, and that is another highly inefficient market. It's a $36 billion market, and then folks traditionally get their driveway sealed, in fall or in late spring, after the weather clears, and just to preserve the driveways. And because we'll have all that empirical data on the properties, we can recommend how we serve that market. So we're going to test a few things come the spring to try to capitalize on some revenue opportunities in that space, given the fact that we have the customer base, given the fact that we have the data around it. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at on the horizon.
That's great. Okay. So your app, is it available on Android and iOS, or where can people download it?
Yep. People can download it in both stores. And we actually have another release coming out next week. So again, our build cycle, for the most part, we're on version 76 right now since we first started.
Wow.
So this is the iterations of our mobile tech is quite fast. and it's clearly demonstrated by the fact that we're building, in the summertime, we're listening to what customers say. Oh, well, look, I would love to do this. And so, after being out there, and I found that, a lot of customers would just come out and just, give me a $20 bill in cash tips. So I was like, why don't we just add a tip feature to this? So, that's another thing that we've just added into the stack. So again, like I said, there's every single piece of this technology has been looked at up and down, left and right, to make sure that we cover all the bases from the customer's perspective as well as the contractor's perspective. And we continuously learn, adapt, build, and deploy based on those specific market-focused requirements. So we're not building anything that a contractor hasn't asked for or a customer hasn't complained about or something. So we really are, as I said, market-driven in that context.
That's great. Okay. And if people want to get in touch, either work for the service or find out more about it, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Well, the best way is to first go to our website, SnoHub.com. It's SNOHUB.com with OW. All the information is there in terms of customers, contractors, the markets that we're serving, a little bit more about how it works. And so again, that should give people a good understanding of, the overall picture of SnoHub, as well as, from there, they can go to either store and download the app. As I said, it costs nothing to download or to try. We're actually offering a free promotion for people, not a free promotion, but a $10 promotion off their first service call. So we're offering that out of the gate. And the prices range, as I said, anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on the service requirements, depending on the market that we're in, whether it's in Buffalo or Denver or Boston. So it's all based on the relevancy of where you're at, and the requirements that you're asking for.
Oh, that's great. Well, James, I appreciate it, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.